Is this original?
Bone stock.
Nice.
99, baby.
How often does this happen to you? Oh, that's always happening to us. Sure, most people would just turn around and go the other way.
But we're not most people, and I've wanted to do this for a while.
So today, we're gonna be lifting Eddie's Miata so we can get over that pesky curb in front of our new office, and hopefully pretty much anything else we wanna run over. But the question is, will all the compromises we're gonna have to make be worth it? Let's find out. I'm Eddie, and this is Money Pit.
Now, normally on track, you run into two problems. In an automatic, the gearbox tries to make the economic choice when selecting gears, and every time you let off the throttle, it takes a second to figure out what gear you should be in when you get back on the gas. And usually, it guesses wrong. Now, with a manual, you have the control, but rowing through the gears can be slow, and rev matching, well, it takes skill and practice. With a DCT like the one on the Veloster N, the right gear is only a click or two away. The Veloster N also has something called N-Track Sense Shift. The track sense uses throttle and braking to detect that you're thrashing it around a track, and it'll shift quickly and decisively like you would with the paddles. It'll actually downshift under hard braking. It'll hold lower gears during cornering and use the top end of the rev range, meaning that it'll shift less and upset the balance of the car less. This DCT shifts like a seasoned touring car veteran, so you can focus on the track. Lap times are all about acceleration and deceleration, not really top speed, so having the right gear at the right time is crucial. All that technology added up is sure to shave seconds off your lap times.
So, as you guys can see, the Veloster N is pretty cool.
What?
And now, back to the job.
Come on in, come on in, come on in. All right, stop right there. Let's get a little baseline, see what kind of ground clearance you have now. All right, so we're gonna be looking for the lowest hanging object. Oh wow, you've got 5 inches to the pinch weld, so probably about 4 inches to the subframe and the kind of unibody down there. That's not very much ground clearance.
So what do you think?
4.5 inches right now. I think by the end of the day, we should be pushing 10.
10?
I think 10 inches because we've got the lift kit, we've got the coilovers, and we've got bigger tires. So I think all those things together are gonna give us about 6 inches of lift.
Well, I'll be damned.
And you've probably seen lifted Miatas before. We've seen them, and it looks like a lot of fun. A little tiny Miata lifted up, plowing through the wilderness. What could be better? The problem is, it doesn't really fit with the vibes of the Money Pit Miata. That's not what this thing's about. But luckily, it does fit with the vibes of Eddie and the way he drives that Miata.
All right, so there's a couple different ways you can go about lifting a car. You can just go ahead and change the tire size to go ahead and get you a couple extra inches. You can go ahead and add a spacer, which will raise the mounting location of your suspension, which is what we're gonna be doing, or change the suspension altogether to get you those couple extra inches that you're looking for. Today, we're gonna be doing kind of a combination of all 3 of those things. So let's see how it comes out.
All 3 things.
All 3 things, all 3 things.
All 3 things. All right, Eddie, now that we finally have your car up on jack stands, this is your final chance. You got any concerns?
Only concern is I'd like it to be somewhat reversible. I'd like it to make it so that we ideally don't have to cut any fenders. Like up here, I'm not looking to put over fenders on this guy.
Yeah.
That, and I think even more than that, after driving it a second ago, the wheels are gonna be freaking much bigger than they are currently, and there's already no power steering.
Yeah. First thing that we're gonna need to get this Miata a little extra ground clearance, are these right here. These are made by Paco, and this is a lift kit for the Miata. We'll talk more about these while we install them. The next thing we're gonna be utilizing is a set of coilovers from BC Racing. I know what you might be thinking, that's for lowering a car. But I'm hoping that if we max these things out in terms of ride height, they'll give us an extra inch or two. So we'll throw these on there and we'll talk more about them while we install them. And the last thing we need is a new set of wheels and tires. So this thing doesn't look silly. Oh, thanks, Eddie. What do you guys think? Well, they're actually at the tire shop getting mounted. So they'll be back in a bit. So for now, job one is to get the stock stuff off this thing. We're gonna get the suspension out of it so we can replace with the coilovers, and we're gonna put our lift kit in. The wheels and tires, well, we don't really need them yet. So, without further ado, let's pull apart this piece of poo. All right, so the truth is, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to cut some stuff on Eddie's car. I know he doesn't like that, but I think that's the only way this is gonna happen. We didn't go with the craziest tire size in the world. It's not super huge, but we're still definitely cutting the bumper and the fender, almost certainly.
What you guys talk about?
All right, so before we take this thing too far apart, I'm gonna mark all the alignment locations on all the eccentric bolts that control the alignment on this car, so that when we put everything back together, we can at least get it close to the alignment it's at now. But with all the things we're changing, this thing is gonna need an alignment at the end of it. But we're gonna try to make it so that we can at least drive it to the alignment shop. All right, so here's what we got fresh back from the tire shop. Eddie, give it to me.
So these boys right here are 25.5 inch.
In total diameter.
Right.
Total height.
And these boys right here are about 22.5.
That said, 25.5 inches in total height isn't as big as you can go with this kit. You can go bigger. I've seen 26, 27. You can go crazy. It just basically, then you have to cut more.
Right,
and
which we don't want to do. We don't want to cut that much.
He doesn't want to cut as much as he doesn't have to. So we went with this size, and I think it's going to look pretty sweet. My concern is the overall width. These boys are a lot fatter, and I understand there could be some interference.
Right,
What do you know?
That's why we went ahead and got these coilovers. We've seen this before.
So the problem,
there can be some interference.
the stock suspension, the diameter of the coil is pretty thick. So the problem is that you kind of can run into the wheel right there. But with the new stuff,
These skinny boys here.
we should be able to clear it pretty handily.
Right. And on top of that, once we take off this lift kit, I'm gonna have these Mad BC coilovers on the car.
And Eddie's got a set of coilovers.
Exactly.
So it's time to take a look at the kind of central part of this lift kit. Now, these things you can install on a bone stock Miata. You don't have to do any of the other stuff we're doing. We're just going a little above and beyond. But these things are really simple. All they do is raise the lower mounting point for the suspension. So they basically mount where the suspension would have mounted from the factory, and then they just give you a new suspension mount for the bottom of your coilover that is higher than the old one. So effectively, it drops the lower control arm about 3 inches, which lowers the wheel.
All right, so the first coilover's on. Zach's still wrenching over there. He was battling a strip bolt, but I think we're gonna get a good idea of where this boy's gonna sit at this point here. Yowza. She's on if you wanna come give her a gander.
Sure, I'll take a break from this garbage. Whoo, baby. So I think it's gonna be close. We really might not. We're gonna lose that mud flap, I think, and then, yeah, maybe just a little knock with the little mallet. Just a little dent, you know? All right, let's move to the back and get that going and see how things go. I guess I'm gonna give up on this corner for now.
Right, until you have the tools from home.
Until I have tools.
To the back.
All right, so we've got our little lift kit piece in the rear here. Now all we gotta do is install our new coilover. The rear went way better than the front did for me. Again, I'm not done up there, so I guess I shouldn't jinx this one either, huh? Man, yeah, we're looking okay. We're gonna have to at least knock this in a little bit with the mallet, maybe trim a little, but boy, I think we're looking pretty good. I love these wheels. I am a huge fan of the old Bassett Steelies.
And they're so cheap.
I know.
For like 69 bucks a pop.
It's nice, dude.
But yeah, essentially, we've done everything we can tonight, so we will see you guys tomorrow.
Listen up, class. I've been asked to come to you today to talk to you about a thing called bundle. And we're offering different themed packages at an extreme discount.
Stop laughing. Stop laughing, Jesse.
This is serious. We've got the starter pack, the Buff Horses bundle, the Lightning bundle, the Boost Creeps bundle, the Mo Power Baby bundle. Guys, this is an insane opportunity. Once in a lifetime, really. To get a great deal on an amazing collection of Donut Media merchandise. So go to donutmedia.com and get yourself a bundle. Rep the set. This is really exciting. I love you guys.
Hey, we're back. It's the next day. Did you get good sleep?
All right.
Nice, me too. And I already ground this bracket, so it's in place and we're ready to put the coilover in the remaining corner, which means we're in the home stretch.
All right, now all we have to do is take off the sway bars, basically get the kind of like wheels situated, remove the inner wheel well liners. What else? Yeah,
pull out the fender liners. We're gonna have to do some trimming. I know you don't like to hear that, but I think we're gonna have to do some, and then we're gonna adjust ride height and get this thing dialed in. But, you know, we're close.
So we're gonna go ahead and preemptively remove these in the event that we have to cut anything.
The potentiality,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
we're not
just
sure.
in
We're
case
probably not
we
gonna
have to cut anything. So they'll be removed. Oh, there's so much more in there.
Yeah.
This is Zach's Chipotle receipt.
Me?
Yeah. You
Nice.
got 2 bowls, 1 chicken burrito, 2 chicken bowls, 1 chicken burrito, 2 chips, Mexican corn, chips and guac. Has your name on it?
Sounds about right.
Rude.
All right, we're about to load up the rears for the first time. What I mean is that we're gonna put the car's weight onto the tires. We're gonna use my old stands, and we're gonna see if we've got clearance. The big place we're looking is right up here. It is really tight, but it's not touching. I think it is gonna get just a touch tighter as the tire goes up, but Eddie might be right. We might not have to trim this, which would be pretty cool. Let's see, Eddie, drop this thing.
Coming down.
Ooh, baby.
How are we looking? How are we looking?
Spectacular. Actually, I don't think you're gonna have to trim. Maybe massage it a touch, but clearance is clearance, baby, and she's not touching.
Let me give her a wiggle.
Yeah, jump up and down. So now we gotta jounce it, like, you know, pretend like we're hitting some bumps. This new suspension should be pretty stiff, though. No rub, baby, no rub.
Nothing?
Yeah, this must not be a Volkswagen.
These are stiff too. Like
Hell yeah. Dude, we're just gonna,
literally just rebound off the ground.
nice moves.
Awesome.
All right, well, cool. The back is like kind of done. We still gotta dial in ride height and everything and crank down the coilovers, but we don't have to cut anything back here, which is spectacular. Teamwork, dream work.
I forgot the keys at my house, so we kind of are stuck. We literally can't turn the wheel anymore. So we thought it'd be cool while we're at it to take the doors off too. So
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Why
Turn
not?
this thing into a Wrangler.
We don't need a hammer.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Yo, is that a Rubicon? Word on the street is Eddie's keys have finally arrived, so we can quit dilly-dallying and get this job done.
Just in time for both the doors to come off.
But honestly, probably worth it. Probably worth getting the doors off, you know? Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. Paint me like one of your French girls.
Yeah,
Like one of your French fries.
yeah, taint me like one of your bench fries.
All right, we're gonna put the car down now, and then we can tighten up all of our control arm bushings, and then dial in our ride height, and then figure out what we've got to trim. So there are certainly more accurate ways to do this, like with a tape measure, but we're just gonna kind of get this thing ballparked, and what I'm talking about is ride height. I wanna have all 4 corners roughly at the same ride height, so I'm just gonna go around and see how many fingers I can fit in our wheel gap right there at the top, and try to make them all match. Then if we wanna get fancy, we can bust out the tape measure, but I think that'll get us close enough for the Miata buggy. Pretty close in the rear. This side is a little bit higher than that side. A little low here, so we'll bring this up.
I think this guy's set.
Well, why don't you start spinning that coilover up, because this is our lowest corner.
All
So spin that up till you can get about 4 fingers in her. Let's compare fingers so we can calibrate our measuring tools, other hand.
That makes sense.
Perfect. Tools calibrated, I think we're set here. All right, the ride height is adjusted. So now the last thing we have left to do to finish up this little Jeep Wrangler buggy Miata is do some trimming. I don't know what that laugh was.
So currently Joe's jacking up the car so we can go ahead and get a good gauge of how little or much we're gonna have to cut off of the front bumper here. So now that it's in the air, I'm gonna go and spin it lock to lock to see exactly where it hits here.
It's gonna hit here, there, and everywhere. All right, which way would you like me to turn the wheel?
Let's go that way. Okay, now let's go the other way.
Oh, not bad.
That's a good tuck.
It's really not bad. So like I said, we are gonna have to cut some, but it's not too bad.
Right.
I don't think it's not gonna make the car look super horrendous.
Right, and again, it's the biggest thing that I was kind of concerned about is I wanted it to be able to come back to a somewhat original.
Yeah, you wanna reverse this thing.
Right.
Put it back to a normal Miata. This is Eddie's only car, by the way.
I have 2 motorcycles, but this is my only car.
You marking out the cuts?
I am indeed.
I think it's only appropriate that you also make all the cuts.
I tried bending it with my hand here and giving it a good couple whops with the good couple whacks with the old hammer. And just about as much as I keep manipulating this little fender here, there's just a lip here that grabs the, that holds the inner wheel well liner that just wants to grab the tire every time we swing it back out. So I just don't want to be driving down the road and rip off my freaking fender.
So let's cut that thing.
Yeah, so we're gonna give her a little cut, a little trim.
Yo, hey, cut it out.
Nice.
Little bash session. You get all that aggression out?
Yep.
Eddie was real mad this morning about something.
Garage kept. AC blows cold.
Mint.
Swing her back around. One more time on the other side. Back around town. Yeah, I mean, that's it. But
You don't think? I can almost get my whole foot upright under it.
I mean, I guess you're right. I could slide the whole way underneath the car now.
Yeah. Let's, where's that tape measure? Should we measure our new ground clearance?
It's right
to
there.
see if we hit those 10 inches? Ooh, that's a nice cut, Eddie.
Thanks, bro.
All right, let's see what we got here. Ah!
Where we at?
So close. 9.5. Almost 10, but not quite.
What, is that 5 inches?
Well, it was at 4.5 at the beginning. So we gained 5 inches of ground clearance, 3 from the lift kit, and then those extra 2 from the coilovers and the tires.
Right.
I'd say probably mostly the tires.
You think?
But these coilovers are gonna make this thing feel so much tighter. I think on the stock suspension, this thing would have been so bouncy,
For sure.
it would have kind of sucked. So I think now, it's time to go hit that curb.
I don't think we're gonna have any problem.
Except that oil pan of yours.
Right.
Woo!
Dude. As I roast that clutch.
You got it. Ah! Well, Eddie, we did it. We set out to lift this Miata, and by God, it's lifted. How do you feel about it?
Feel pretty good. I think overall, it's like, wasn't terribly hard to do.
2 days worth of work. What'd we spend? Just south of 2,000 bucks, I think.
Right.
And we didn't have to super modify your car.
Nope.
The cuts aren't too extreme. You can barely even see them.
Right.
Though I do think you need to cut a little bit more.
They are rubbing quite a
There's
bit.
a little rough. Not quite a bit. It's not bad.
I mean, it's audible.
But do you like it? I mean, is it fun to run over curbs?
I mean, I love it thus far.
And the doors off is a pretty sick touch.
We still gotta jump it. We haven't gotten the chance.
We do need to find a jump, and when we find one, you'll be the first people to know. Well, with that said, hey, I mean, we've got a lifted Miata now. I think it's a nice counterpart to the Money Pit Miata.
That's true.
So hey, mission accomplished, my guy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Zach Job, follow Eddie at Eddie Esparza, and Donut at Donut Media, and we will see you guys next week. Hey, this is the inaugural new office episode.
That's
Thanks
right.
for being here.
Look around, it's new, there's nothing here. But we're gonna fill it up with cool stuff, and honestly, there you go.